For most of human history, the world's biggest challenge was having too few people. Wars, famines, deadly diseases, high infant mortality. Keeping populations growing was never guaranteed. Then everything changed. Modern medicine improved. Food production increased. People began living longer. The global population exploded from just 1 billion around the year 1800 to more than 8 billion today. For decades, experts worried about overpopulation. Too many people. Too little food. Too few resources. But now, a different concern is emerging. Not because people are dying faster, but because they're having fewer children. In many parts of the world, populations are beginning to shrink. So, what's really happening? The key lies in something called the fertility rate. This is the average number of children a woman has over her lifetime. For a country's population to remain stable without immigration, that number needs to be about 2.1 children per woman. It's called the replacement level. Anything significantly above that, and populations usually grow. Anything below it, and populations eventually begin to decline. Today, more than half of the world's population lives in countries where fertility has already fallen below replacement level. And the trend continues. Take South Korea. It has one of the lowest fertility rates ever recorded. On average, women there are having far fewer than one child each. Japan, Italy, Spain, and several other countries are also experiencing long-term population decline. Even China, once known for rapid population growth, has started shrinking after decades of lower birth rates. These aren't isolated cases. They're part of a global pattern. So why are fewer babies being born? The answer isn't just one thing. It's a combination of social, economic, and cultural changes. One major reason is education. Around the world, more women than ever are attending universities, building careers, and gaining greater control over when or whether they want children. As educational opportunities increase, people often choose to start families later in life. That naturally reduces the total number of children many families have. Another factor is urban living. In farming communities centuries ago, large families often made economic sense. Children could help with agricultural work. Housing was less expensive. Today, more than half of humanity lives in cities. Urban life is different. Apartments are smaller. Childcare is expensive. Education costs more. Raising several children in a major city can be financially overwhelming. The cost of living has become another powerful influence. In many countries, housing prices have risen faster than incomes. Young adults often spend years paying student loans, saving for homes, or establishing careers. Many delay marriage. Others postpone having children until they feel financially secure. Some eventually decide they simply can't afford a large family. Changing lifestyles also play a role. People today have more choices than previous generations. Travel, career opportunities, personal goals, entrepreneurship. Many adults still want children, but others choose different paths. Having fewer children, or none at all, is increasingly viewed as a personal decision rather than a social expectation in many societies. Better healthcare has changed things too. Centuries ago, families often had many children because infant mortality was much higher. Sadly, not every child survived into adulthood. Today, modern medicine, vaccines, and improved sanitation mean far more children survive and thrive. As a result, parents no longer need large families to ensure that some children reach adulthood. Some people assume declining birth rates are caused by infertility. While infertility affects many individuals and deserves attention, it isn't the primary reason global fertility is falling. The biggest driver is that people are choosing to have fewer children, often because of economic pressures, changing priorities, or delayed parenthood. Population decline creates challenges many people never consider. As birth rates fall and life expectancy increases, societies begin to age. There are more retirees. Fewer young workers. This creates pressure on pension systems, healthcare services, and labor markets. A smaller workforce may also slow economic growth if productivity doesn't increase enough to compensate. Some countries are already feeling these effects. Schools are closing because there aren't enough students. Small towns are losing residents. Businesses struggle to hire workers. Hospitals face growing demand as populations age. Governments are searching for solutions before these problems become even larger. One approach is encouraging families to have more children. Several countries offer financial incentives, paid parental leave, subsidized childcare, or tax benefits. The goal is to reduce the financial burden of raising children. Some policies have helped modestly, but reversing long-term fertility trends has proven difficult. Once birth rates fall, they often remain low for decades. Another solution is immigration. Countries experiencing population decline sometimes welcome immigrants to help fill labor shortages and support economic growth. Immigration has helped offset population decline in several nations. However, immigration policies vary widely and often involve complex political and social debates. It's not a universal solution. Artificial intelligence and automation may also change the picture. If robots and AI can perform more work, countries with smaller populations may still maintain strong economies. Factories already use automated machines. Self-driving technologies continue developing. AI assists doctors, engineers, and businesses. Technology may help societies adapt to having fewer workers. It's also important to remember that the world's population isn't declining everywhere. Many countries in Africa continue experiencing strong population growth. Several nations still have young populations and relatively high birth rates. The global picture is uneven. Some regions are growing rapidly. Others are shrinking. What makes today's situation unique is that many of the world's largest economies now face declining fertility at the same time. The United Nations projects that the global population could continue growing for several more decades before eventually reaching a peak. After that, growth may slow dramatically or even reverse, depending on future birth rates, life expectancy, and migration. Exactly when that happens remains uncertain, but the long-term direction has become much clearer than it was a generation ago. Perhaps the biggest surprise is this. Population decline isn't happening because humanity is running out of people. It's happening because millions of individual families are making different choices than previous generations. Choosing to wait, choosing to have fewer children, or choosing not to have children at all. When those personal decisions are repeated across entire societies, they reshape the future of nations. For decades, the world asked how we would feed an ever-growing population. Now, some countries are asking a very different question. Who will care for an aging population? Who will fill tomorrow's jobs? Who will support the next generation? The challenge facing humanity is changing, not from explosive growth, but from slowing growth. And perhaps, eventually,